Welcome back to the Solano Community College studio. I'm Bria Smith, this is Dime Borg, and this is Lauren Ballard. So you might actually recognize Dime and I from the BOPS podcast, one of the programs that we film in the Solano Community College sports broadcasting course. But today, we aren't actually doing a podcast episode. Today we want to talk about this course and what it has allowed us to do and why we think that you guys should join it. So first of all, I just want to point out, Lauren, we've never seen you on camera before. You're always usually behind it. So first, how does it feel to be in front of the camera?
I mean, it's definitely different because, I'm so used to being the one to control the cameras, but I'm having fun. I'm glad to be here, and I'm excited.
It's good to see you not casted in shadow, staring at us.
That is very true. But
yeah.
I take my job seriously.
Yes, you do. And so we all started this program because we wanted to film the podcast, and Lauren came so she could help us. But overall, I just want to, how did you guys, how do we feel about this program? How did we feel about the course? Dime, what did you do during the course? Because this, as we all know, this course is very free with what it lets you be creative with and the content you make. And so, Dime, what were you doing?
So, again, like you said, we were working on the BOPS podcast, and I know you and I worked together on the editing, and we worked on getting, the outro and the music. That was, the first big hurdle that we first worked on, getting, all the clips ready that would be used in every single video, intro and outro. And then individually, I worked more so on, the thumbnails for our videos. And it was definitely a learning experience, but it got easier the more you did it. And it was very fun because we got to use the Adobe products.
For free.
For free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, free for us. I'm sure someone's paying for it.
Okay. And Lauren, you actually didn't do much of the editing piece. So in the program, what was your role?
Well, I was the producer for your guys' podcast. I was the one getting the angles, doing the movements, making sure it looked its best. So that was mostly my role, but I did a lot of my project in the class as well, my commercial that I'm filming, and I edited that part. But I didn't do much of the editing with your guys' because it was your project.
Although you actually had some on the field, more than we did, of course, but you had some on the field filming experience with one of the games or a couple of the games. How was that? Because we actually didn't really get a chance to get behind the camera on the field like that.
Well, honestly, I didn't do much either. I was kind of just there watching. But it was interesting to watch and getting to see everyone else who works there and got to do it. I don't know. I didn't really do much. I was just kind of watching, not gonna lie.
That's fair. I mean, I've sat in front of them as they're setting up and all this stuff, and it is actually interesting to see how many pieces and components go into filming. Because we've all seen a sports game on TV before,
right?
But knowing, so that's how they did the different camera angles, and they're always having to communicate with each other. I think it's actually, really interesting to see the behind the scenes. With that said, do you guys have any plans, or Dime, do you have something?
What do you do on the project? Because you didn't.
So I, along with you, help with editing and the production piece of our podcast. I was kind of backseat at first, but then I kind of, as we wanted to develop our thumbnails, you kind of took over that piece, and then I was the one who took over getting the music and the outros in, and at the end I started kind of playing with transitions with the videos. I do kind of wish we had more time, I guess, and energy. Time and energy to really play around with editing and adding in some fun and funky jokes into our podcast, editing-wise. But that is what I did, and I actually feel really good about it. I had a fun time, learning how to use Premiere. I mainly use Premiere Pro.
Right.
And I did play with Photoshop a little bit, so I'm not as comfortable with you, but I do kind of understand the mechanics of it now, kind of. Because Photoshop likes to work sometimes, and it likes to...
Yeah, Photoshop, or even Premiere Pro, Adobe's awesome, but I was having issues where once we close on the project and then we come back the next day and something was off.
Right.
The one time the whole audio was off. But I do want to add on, you said like we didn't have enough time. It's not that we didn't have enough time in the class.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that like there's so much to do in Premiere Pro and Adobe and all of their products that it just could go on and on and on.
Right.
And we just touched the surface of it.
Barely, yeah. There's definitely, like, the tip of the iceberg was where we were at with all this. But it was still, I think it was a good experience. And so, with that being said, I want to ask, do either of you see filming and production being any part of your career? Like, was this mainly a recreational course? Like, for me personally, I do want to go into media. I believe I've said this before on our podcast that I want to work with either on the news or as a documentarian at some point in my life. And so being able to see all the components, like the
I don't remember what it's called. It's a big layout with a whole bunch of buttons and levers.
Exactly, and it helps with editing.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
The
something caster.
It's gonna make me upset when I remember it.
We're literally gonna stop filming and then walk over there because I know the name is written on it, and then we're gonna see it and be like, but seeing that, I remember when I first saw that when we came in and he was showing us the studio, I got really excited because I'm like, ooh, this is the real. And so I think that this has really helped me. This course has really helped me like become more comfortable with the space and definitely be more comfortable being on camera. And me personally, I feel like that will help me in the future because I plan to use like that. So did you guys have anything like that?
I don't think it'll help me in like my future career, but I think it would be fun if like throughout college I continued making some sort of content that I could just post on YouTube just for fun.
Or Instagram.
Or anything like that. Just it gave me the resources to start learning that and to gain interest in it. So that I enjoyed. And it was like a stepping stone into recreational content creation.
Okay.
And then you guys already know that I am majoring in film and television and cinema. So I definitely will be using this in my future now that I know how to use professional cameras and now that I know how to do the editing and all of this different types of stuff that I didn't know before. I definitely will be using it when I do directing or whatever I do in film because I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, I definitely will be using it.
So you see yourself more on the production side of the film industry?
Yeah, I either like directing or I don't know. I'm probably directing though.
That'd be cool.
Either way, I think that this
I can't wait to see Lauren Ballard.
Right, directed by Lauren Ballard.
That's gonna be so
Keep an eye out, folks. So we've discussed this individually and as a group many times off camera, that we feel that Solano Community College has a lot of good programs and resources that so many people don't know about. For example, we had no idea that this class even existed, that this room even existed.
Right.
Until, we were told by...
last December.
Right. And so, for one, if you were to tell our viewers, like an elevator pitch for, for this program, what would you tell them?
Well, for one, there's so many, like you said, there's so many interesting courses at Solano that it's amazing that they're not necessarily prioritizing, because I think they're mainly focusing on like the general ed classes so that people can transfer out. But there's things like welding, there's like a flower bouquet class. I don't know if they still have that, but that always seemed like an interesting class. As for this class specifically, it's very fun, and we are under the title, like enrolled under sports broadcasting, but that will change into more of, I know a professor wants to focus on like political podcast and getting like people talking and being active and aware in politics. So I think that'll be interesting because you not only get to learn about, media and producing, being behind a camera, editing, all these other things that go into producing something to watch or even listen to. I lost myself. Oh, but you also get to meet with others and you can talk about whatever you're focusing on, whatever your topic is. And you might think just stepping into the class, oh, it's sports broadcasting, we have to go do this. We have to only know
Sports.
I don't know anything about sports. I don't know about you guys.
Not either.
I know there's a ball usually. But we were able to talk to Professor, told him that this is what we want to do, and he was able to help us. And it was very nice because it's designated time to do what you want to do. I know even if I wanted to produce a podcast like we did and I didn't have designated time, I'd procrastinate a lot. And this time there's designated times each week that I got to come in and work on it. And it was very cool. I enjoyed it. It was a very good semester.
Lauren?
Well, someone who is going into film and television, I really love that this program is very hands-on, and it's not graded on experience or anything like that. It's more graded on just being out there and learning, and that's what I really love, because not everyone. What am I trying to say? Not everyone is, on the same level, but we're all just learning together. I don't know how to explain it, but
I think I understand what you're saying. I too really appreciated that this was like a, as he told us when we started, that you are graded on your hours. It's like a job. The effort you put into it is how you're graded, as opposed to like, he shows us how to set up a camera and all the buttons on it, and then we get a test. Like,
or there's lecture notes or something, and it's
right.
Not like that.
And me personally, I'm a very hands-on kinesthetic. Okay.
It's a keyword. It's a K-word. I know what you're talking about. The different types of learning. There's listening, auditory, visual.
Kinesthetic is one of them.
Is that what it is?
I think it is.
It is definitely a K-word.
I think it's kinesthetic.
Anyway. Watch it not be a K-word.
I think it is kinesthetic, and kinesthetic means hands-on, basically. Yeah. And it makes it's easier for me to understand seeing all the levels laid out. And this is what this class is what that is. It's very much for kinesthetic learners. He shows you how to set up everything. You get into the programs and you see all the pieces. And I mean, obviously for us going into it, huge learning curve because we had no idea. But we weren't graded on that. And so it allowed us to actually learn more and I think grow a lot because we weren't worried about like, oh, next Thursday we have a test on the mechanics of baseball.
Oh God, we would all fail.
Right. And another thing, this class just is really about creativity. Like you said, we came in with a completely left field sports term, a completely left field idea in that we wanted to do a podcast while everyone else was doing sports, and he was completely cool with that, gave us the resources we needed, and honestly, we came out with a really good podcast.
Yeah, and it was enjoyable to make, not only in the filming of it, but in producing. Like, I liked working on, like, with Adobe, making the thumbnails. It was irritating a lot, especially when it says, oh, we can't take that file, but your project's due in 2 days.
It's on the wrong layer.
But yeah, adding on to that as well, since this class is so unique, putting this on your resume just makes you stand out.
Oh, so for sure.
So much more. Like, who's taking sports production? Like,
really?
Not like in a mean way, but like, 'cause nobody really knows about the class. So this just makes you stand out even more.
Exactly. And he said to us when we, also at the beginning of this semester, that if you get in a certain amount of hours, this counts as, real-time experience, because you are actually going out and filming, whatever it is that you're filming. You know how to use those tools. And so then with actual media companies or sports companies, if that's what you wanted to do, they already know that you have the experience that they want with someone, so they're not, having to go look. And also, at least with us, the early college students, and we really do want to promote this to the early college students because, we have the opportunity to be dual enrolled, and so why not look at these different types of creative courses and see just what you might like. But, if you're an early college student and you happen to do sports broadcasting, or in the future, the political broadcasting class, whatever it's going to be called, then not only are you probably somewhere close to getting an AA, you're also very young and you have a lot of experience. That makes you look really good in the eyes of companies and anyone who might want to hire you. Right. So it's like, if you are even slightly interested in like film and media, like why wouldn't you just take the program?
It's a very chill class.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of other classes. This was the only college class I took this semester, but I know you had some very stressful classes.
Yeah.
And it's very refreshing just to have. It's 2 to 3, maybe even 3.5 hours out of your day on a Tuesday or Thursday, but it's very chill.
And you're working on something that you want to work on.
You're not forced to study calculus or something. You could, if that's what you're interested in. If that's what you want to talk about, go ahead. But
me personally, I would never.
Something, honestly.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing something.
I mean, and if you're one of those kids who are like, oh, well, I just want an easy A class. Like, first of all, we need to change that thinking, buddy. But, like, this class it's not a hard class. Again, it's effort. And you should be putting effort in any school or any school work that you do. I know it's hard sometimes, but, but like, really, me personally, I feel like there's no reason not to take this class because I really had such a good time. It was so fun. It was so, like, free, too. And it was just, like, for me, all the puzzle pieces fit, personally. So I think that it was just such a good experience. And I do think that, the early college and then also Solano, too, should really promote these kind of classes, be pushing these kind of classes because of all the stuff I mentioned earlier, the experience and all that stuff too. And like, cause it's just a fun thing to do and it's interesting and it kind of sets it might set Solano apart. Cause I never even thought about, the college having a studio where, kids could come in and film. Like I never even would consider that. And so I think that would be a good thing to like present and tell people.
Yeah, I honestly wish I took this class sooner.
Yeah.
So that I would have had more experience and I could have kept going up. But I didn't know that it was even a class until this year.
We didn't know until we knew.
You guys told me. And
When we first figured out about the class, it was called Sports Broadcasting 80B, but I thought it was AD, like the letters ADB, and I was like, okay. that didn't have any significance, but I just wanted to share that.
So for all of our viewers, if it says a number next to it, it's probably A0 or 80. See, now you got me. Anyways, well, honestly, that's I just think that this is a wonderful class. Anyone else have any, to the viewers, what you might say
to the
skeptics?
I was gonna say that. Take this class.
Take this class.
Take this class.
Take this class.
Alrighty. Take this class.
Should we say it all together?
We can say that at the end.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us in this episode, and then also joining us for our podcast, and joining us for all the sports games that you may have seen. I believe they're all up on YouTube, and all of the other shows that the studio films. Please go watch them. Show some support for the program. And if you are taking classes at Solano, take the sports broadcasting class. Like, come on. Like, come on now.
Come on.
It really is such an amazing opportunity, especially if you want to go into film and media. That being said, my name is Bria Smith. This has been Dime and Lauren, and thank you so much to the Solano Community College Film Studio for everything. And want to give one last take this class? All right, 3, 2, 1. Take this class. Bye.